Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be covering a topic that is probably one of my top 3 questions that I get asked on a daily basis. And that's when people ask me what platform, what broker I'm using. So I'm going to go over the top 5 brokers that I've either used or heard a lot of positive things about in no particular order. However, as I go through this list, I will mention the ones that I personally use myself. Just a disclaimer, none of these brokers pay me to say this. I've been using them way before I even started a YouTube channel. These are just platforms that I started off with, I got comfortable with, and I use them till this day. Whether you guys are investors or traders, I'm going to talk about which platforms are best for which type of trading that you do. So first on my list is TD Ameritrade, and I have their website pulled up here. But I like them for 2 reasons. One, $0 commissions. And commissions are basically a fee that you pay whenever you trade a stock. So some brokers, they have commissions. So if you buy a stock, you would pay $5. If you sell it, you pay another $5. So you'll be at a $10 loss right away. But TD Ameritrade is one of those brokers that are commission free, which means you don't pay anything for your trade. The second thing I like about TD Ameritrade is their platform. So TD Ameritrade has a platform called Thinkorswim, which is a platform that you guys see me use every time in all of my videos. So when I first got started with stocks about 3 or 4 years ago, and I started kind of looking into charts and doing charting and stuff, the first platform software that I started using was Thinkorswim. And there's nothing wrong with other charting softwares. I just happen to get really used to this platform. If you go on YouTube, there's hundreds and hundreds of videos with different ways of how to customize, how to use this platform. It's really easy to use. I personally love how the charts look. It has everything. You have your news, you have your watch list you can create, you have your time and sales, your level 2, different charts. It's honestly just a great platform, and it's very user friendly, especially for beginners. Now, for those who aren't aware, a lot of these charting softwares and platforms, they usually have a cost associated to them, sometimes between $50 to $100 a month. Now, the best thing about TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim platform, it's free. It's 100% free. You don't have to pay a single penny. All you have to do is open up an account with them, which is free as well, by the way. And once you open an account with them, you can literally just start using this platform. At the time when I first got started, I really didn't have too much money to start with, and I didn't have money to put $2,000 into a broker account and just, pay $100 a month for charting software. So I started off with Thinkorswim, and I use them till this day. I'm stuck with them. I'm just so used to how their platform works. I understand the flow of it. I've created my own little things and stuff. Now, this platform is good for both investors and traders. So whether you're someone who just logs in weekly to just purchase your shares and get out, or whether you're trading every single day, it's also a good platform. As you can see, you have the live market data going on. Now, there is 2 downsides with Thinkorswim, and one of them is short selling. So if you're someone who short sells stocks, which means you take negative positions, Thinkorswim usually doesn't have many shares to short, if any at all. And the other downside is if you're day trading with Thinkorswim, I've noticed in the past few months they've had pretty laggy executions, so that's just something to be aware of. But other than that, I really like them as an overall platform. Now, the next broker is Charles Schwab, and I used to use Charles Schwab for long-term investing. They have decent charts, they're okay to me, but I do like that they have a really strong customer service line. The other cool thing about Charles Schwab is they also have $0, zero commission trading. You guys have to keep in mind, Charles Schwab is one of the biggest brokers out there, and once they actually went to $0 commission trading, which this happened last year, once they moved over to that, every other broker started doing the same thing. Alright, so the next broker we have here is TradeZero. And TradeZero is pretty similar to TD Ameritrade, but it does have some differences. TradeZero is convenient for both traders and investors. It's very user friendly, also commission free. But when it comes to TradeZero, they have the upper hand on what's called short locates. Now, in my first video, I talked about people going long, people going short. You know, I talked about the bears and the bulls, just like the picture here. If you haven't watched the first video, I'm gonna tag it somewhere here. But in that video, I pretty much talked about how in the market, you're competing with buyers and you're also competing with sellers. So TradeZero is a platform, is a broker that short sellers like to use. The problem with other brokers when it comes to short selling is they never have shares to short. But TradeZero, they usually always have shares to short of a stock. So like I was saying, if you're someone who short sells, this is the broker for you. I actually have pulled up their platform because I have an account with TradeZero. I do my fair share of shorting here and there whenever the opportunity presents itself. So if you scroll down here to their short list, if I want to short something like, let's say the SPY. Now the SPY is hard to borrow, which means other brokers don't let you short the SPY. But in this case, TradeZero does. It's a hard to borrow play, but if you locate the shares, they give you 100 shares if you pay $6.60, and then you can accept your shares, and now you have shares to short. Now short selling is more for intermediate to advanced traders, but I still wanted to show this platform. So anyways, this is TradeZero. If you want to get into shorting, short selling, this is the broker to go with. All right, so the fourth broker we have here is E-Trade, and E-Trade is kind of like in the middle. E-Trade's like, here's the top 5 that I mentioned. E-Trade is kind of like the middleman. It has a little bit of everything. It's good for traders and investors. It's good for longs. It's good for shorts. E-Trade occasionally does have shares to short, not as many as TradeZero does, but it does have some shares to short. And it's overall a really user-friendly, beginner-friendly platform. Their charts are okay in my opinion. Some people really like their charts. I personally don't like their charts because you can't move them around how you can with Thinkorswim. But it's personal preference kind of thing. Just like all the others I've mentioned, E-Trade is also commission-free. So as you guys notice, all the brokers that I'm talking about here, you're pretty much not going to have to pay for any kind of trading that you do. And now the last broker that we have here is Robinhood. Now before I get a Robinhood user to dislike my video, because I know what happened this week, on March 2nd, Robinhood had a shutdown where their platform was literally down the whole day. A lot of people were affected by this. Some people lost money. Some people weren't really affected by this. Me personally, I wasn't affected by it. But I do know a lot of people that did lose money due to this outage that occurred. They literally couldn't buy or sell their positions the entire day. Anyways, initially, Robinhood was in my top 5 brokers. Keep in mind, I didn't put these brokers in any particular order. They were just my top 5. But I filmed that video on Saturday, and today, Monday, March 9th, 2020, Robinhood actually had another outage. This is their 3rd outage, I believe, that's happened. And that's pretty unacceptable. I still like them as a broker. I'm still going to be using them, not as much as I used to before. I don't have large amounts of money with Robinhood at the moment. I just have like my public account that I share with my close friends group. But I'm probably going to be moving that over to this broker, which is Webull. So like I was saying, Robinhood was going to be my number 5 broker, but I wouldn't want to recommend someone a broker that could potentially bring many problems. These outages don't allow people to buy or sell or cover positions. So if you're down $1,000 and you can't sell your position, you're down $1,000. There's nothing you can do about it. And I wouldn't want someone, a beginner who's just starting, to get stuck in a position just because of a broker outage. And I'm not saying this can't happen to any broker. It can happen to any broker, really. But this is the 2nd or 3rd time it happens to Robinhood, and that's no good. I don't think they're a bad broker, but I do think they have a lot of things to work on. So for the 5th and final platform / broker I'm going to talk about today is Webull. And when I was first making the video, I was actually debating on whether talking about Robinhood or Webull, because they're pretty much both the same thing. I'm just more of a Robinhood fanboy because I started with them. That was my very first broker. And I love how easy and how user-friendly it is. So Webull is a fairly new broker, but they have a lot of good stuff on it. I actually really like their platform. I've been using them for about 3 months. The reason I kind of opened an account with them is because there was a promotion going on where if you deposited a certain amount of money, they would give you some free stocks. So I actually have my Webull account pulled up here, and you can see the 2 free stocks that I got was nothing big. Some people probably got some decent, nice stocks, but I got Sprint, and I'm up $3 on Sprint because it's just 1 share. And the other is ISBC, which I have no clue what that is. And then you can see my 3rd position here, MRO, that's Marathon Oil. We had a big dump in oil today, so I decided to kind of buy some shares of oil, kind of expecting a bounce on that. But anyways, that's besides the point. What I like about Webull is they have a both online and mobile platform, and their mobile platform is really easy to use, really mobile friendly, and beginner friendly as well. Honestly, Robinhood and Webull are pretty much the same thing. The only difference is when it comes to Webull, you can't trade options, which is a different way of trading the market, and you can't trade cryptocurrencies. But besides that, the past few months that I've been using them, I really like their platforms. On both their mobile application and their online site, they have really nice charts. If you look at Robinhood's charts, it's just they're too simple. They would only show you if a stock is going up or if a stock is going down. It doesn't go into too much detail. With Webull, you can actually you get decent charts. It tells you the highs, the lows, the closing price, the opening price of the candle. So overall, it's a really good platform. I'm definitely going to be using them a lot more just because these Robinhood outages could potentially cost me something in the future if I'm not careful. It's a good beginner platform and for intermediates as well. It doesn't have to be just for beginners because I'm using it as well. But it's a good platform to kind of get a feel for how to buy, how to sell stocks, how to basically look at charts, what they're doing. And it's a good way of getting your feet wet and understanding what the stock market is exactly. It's easy to pick up a book and read about charts and how the market works, but it's a different thing when you actually pick up your phone or when you create an account or you open up a broker, you put in some money and you start dipping your feet into the market. So if you're slightly interested, I would highly recommend you guys download their app, give it a try. Like I said earlier, they don't pay me to say this at all. I had an account open with them way before I had a YouTube channel. However, they do still have that promotion going on where if you open up an account with them using the specific link that I'll put in the description, you can also get some 2 free stocks, just like the ones I showed you here. I got 1 stock of ISBC, 1 stock of Sprint. You never know, you could get lucky. You could end up getting an Apple stock, which is worth a few $100s, or you could also end up getting a Sprint stock or something else. But it's a free stock, it's worth giving it a try. And with that being said, I'll be seeing you guys in the next one.